What is up, family? You read the title of the video. 30 days ago, I decided to completely give up caffeine. No coffee, no energy drinks, no pre-workouts, no diet sodas, and this is what happened. Okay, here we go, day one, and firstly, let's just appreciate what a beautiful day it is in sunny Ireland, but I've literally just smashed my back workout. Probably the best workout I've had for a while. Again, just beta-alanine and Citruline malate, so yeah, that is pretty much that. But while we are here, coffee-wise, actually, firstly, let's just appreciate the beautiful oat cake I've cooked up, ready for tomorrow. But anyway, coffee-wise, I'll normally have like a coffee in the evening or when I get home after work, so this is what I deal with normally, the beanies, cookie dough, or we have the Nescafe, and then we have this Nespresso machine down here. It's pretty convenient, and we do have the little pouches, but we're on to the last little pouch, so you know what that means. We pay a trip to the motherland, of course. So here we go, we have the gold blend, we have the Colombian, this stuff is horrific, and then we have the decaf coffee here. Where is the decaf coffee? And then we're gonna pick up some of these poverty little capsules for the machine. The goods have been acquired, and even a fresh box of marshmallow mateys, and you know that orange sticker means they were discounted $2.50 for a fresh box, but that is that. I'll check in with you tomorrow. Okay, day two, let's appreciate just how fucked I look. I feel actually fine. It is already like 7 o'clock in the morning, was up all night, so yeah, I didn't actually take anything. I just downed water, decided to come straight to the gym. No faffing around lying in bed. So yeah, that is day two. Ka-ching! And let's get to day three. And here we go, day three. Don't really want to record, to be honest. I'm pretty tired, but we've just finished work. But yeah, I will usually come home and just crash from work, and that's when I'll have my caffeinated coffee. But we have a decaf coffee here just to get the taste. Give it a stir. To be honest, it tastes the same, but it's not going to give me a kick. So yeah, anyway, that is that. Check in with you at day four. Boom, there we go, day four, 20 minutes of cardio, bish bash bosh. Again, no pre-workout, but a pretty decent workout, to be honest. And much like yesterday, it is a work day, so we are rushing to work, but we have a whole 2-litre bottle of flavoured water with a scoop of bcaas in there to get me through the shift. And then I'll probably just have my decaf coffee later on when I get home at 7. So yeah, let's check in with you tomorrow. Okay, here we go, day 5, and we have just crashed after like 3 days of sub 3 hours sleep. So yeah, we're at the gym, we're playing catch up on everything. Again, no stimulants or anything pre-workout, but one of the hardest parts about skipping the pre-workout, the ghost in particular, to be honest, is that you don't have something sort of tasty to sip on pre-workout. Normally I'll just sit in the car for like 10 to 15 minutes, get the mind right. So, but yeah, that has been substituted with the almighty BCA, Citruline malate and beta-alanine combo. So you're gonna sip on this, get the mind right, and then see how this workout goes. Come on! Honestly, a pretty decent session, to be honest. Took forever to get going, but once I got in my rhythm, it sort of all fell into place. So yeah, that is that. And again, I forgot, decaf coffee, accountability of the day, because I already know I'm going to get asked whether I add flavor drops. Of course, the white chocolate ones, or the bomb, or some of these artificial sweeteners. But yes, that is that. If you want coaching, send me an email and I will check back in with you tomorrow. And here we go, day 6. Honestly, not the best workout, to be honest. If there was one day I needed to pick me up, it would have been today, but yeah, nonetheless, that is day 6 in the books. But first, decaf coffee of the day, accountability. Always remember, fam, keep calm and have a wonderful life. We're going for a whopper mug today. And I thought I would actually add this while I'm here. In terms of diet drinks, obviously Monster has caffeine in it, but like low calorie drinks, these often have caffeine in them. So I'm not going to be able to drink those at all for the 30 days either. To be honest, I don't really rely on these a lot. I might have like 1 or 2 every now and again. In terms of Monsters, I'll normally have those like as a substitute to the pre-workout. So we already know that's going to be banged out the way. So decaf coffee is definitely going to be one of my main liquids, or my main flavored liquid. And also, you know, the My Waddies or the Robinsons are the game changers, which I use to flavor my water, or even like the NoCo BCAs. This one is caffeine free, and the bulk powders one, you can see most diet drinks will have some sort of caffeine in there. In terms of Coke, I'm sure there it is, caffeine on the ingredients list. So yeah, these are the staples for the 30 days. So I will check back in with you tomorrow for the day 7 roundup. Boom! Day 7, leg day, deja vu, moobity boo. Sipping on some bcaas again. I don't know, I'm starting to find workout wise, yesterday was pretty poor, today is going to be definitely a struggle. But yeah, the workouts during the week have actually been pretty decent. It's almost like you trick yourself in that you need caffeine for a good workout, but then the workouts just end up being good and you're like, oh, maybe I didn't. Maybe it's because I'm not super dependent on it already, but yeah, it's sort of interesting. But yeah, here we go, bcaas. So here we go, pray for my legs in 3, 2, 1. Boom, 20 minutes of cardio. This, that, bosh. Oh my days. One of the hardest leg workouts I've had for a while. I struggled big time. You know what, it was probably a good idea not taking caffeine before that, because I did not feel well during that. I was literally having like severe heart palpitations during lunges. My legs are like jelly, but anyway, day 7 in the books. And here we go, family. Decaf coffee, accountability of the day in our handy Homer cup. But yeah, that is 7 days out the way, and you might be asking, what the hell is that you have on the table, Scott? Okay, so here I have printed out a clipboard literally with like the next 30 days. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm still gonna pick up the camera and vlog, but as the topic of caffeine pre-workouts, how much you should take and stuff is always one I'm asked about. You know, it's a highly requested one. What I'm gonna do is I'm still gonna vlog, pick up the camera, but overlaying on the footage will be me with a voiceover going over every single aspect of caffeine pre-workouts, all of that you'll ever need to know, because I'm all about that there #value. And then at the very end, I will check back in with you with my full-on personal review of how we go after the 30 days. Woo! Again, I think it should be okay because I'm not like an avid caffeine user, but again, who knows? So yeah, that is going to be the plan. Hopefully you learn something in the next like 5 to 7 minutes, and then I will check back in with you on the other side. So here we go. Okay, family, here we go. Sit back, relax, and let's enjoy making learning somewhat entertaining and easy to understand. Again, I'm going to try keep this as completely raw. So let's start off with the basics of caffeine. What is caffeine? Essentially, caffeine is a nootropic, and for those who are unaware of what that actually is, according to Caldenhove, again I'm going to butcher all these names, et al. 2018, nootropics, also known as smart drugs, are compounds that enhance cognitive performance. So basically something that is ingested primarily for its effects on the brain. So yes, when ingested, caffeine actually takes action in the brain by acting on adenosine receptors. Okay, now adenosine, for those unaware, is a naturally occurring purine nucleoside which in high levels, oh it started raining, can promote sleepiness when it binds with its receptors. So if you block its receptors, you actually limit its ability to make you sleepy, and thus, as concluded by Lieberman et al. 2002, even in the most adverse of circumstances, moderate doses of caffeine can improve cognitive function, including vigilance, learning, memory, and mood state, or basically you just feel more awake and alert. So as you can see in the graph by Fedelholm et al. 1999, caffeine is able to significantly block adenosine effects on the A2A receptor, which is actually the most potent one, and then the A1 receptor is already at low concentration. So you can see with increasing levels, the more % effect it has on the receptors, until you're practically at like toxic levels and you die of a heart attack. Anyway, on top of its impact on the CNS, or the central nervous system, caffeine has also shown to have an effect on substrate utilization during exercise, in particular muscle glycogen. So as per Spreet et al. 1992, caffeine before exercise actually decreased muscle glycogenolysis, or glycogen breakdown, by approximately 55% over the first 15 minutes of exercise at approximately like 80% of VO2 max. Okay, and it was this spared glycogen which was then available later on in exercise and coincided with a prolonged time to exhaustion, meaning that in endurance activities it helps to decrease fatigue and increase performance. So you can then say that along with being a nootropic, caffeine can also be considered an effective ergogenic aid, okay, or something that improves performance. Anyway, you're probably saying, okay, that's all to do with endurance exercise, but what about things like lifting weights or higher intensity exercise? Well, the trend is actually the same, guys. Okay, so for example, as you can see in the graph by Wolf et al. 2008, they have shown that a moderate dose of caffeine resulted in more total weight lifted for the chest press and a greater peak power attained during the Wingate test in competitive athletes. Okay, then in terms of actual max strength and power sports, maybe like weightlifting or what you're doing, again, as you can see in another graph by Beck et al. 2006, whose results showed that a caffeine containing supplement actually resulted in a significant, so a 2.1 kilogram or a 2.1% increase in bench 1RM performance, which you can see on the left hand graph, and then thus a total increase in bench press volume, which you can see on the right hand graph. So all kinds of gains. Anyway, that's all sports pretty much covered for caffeine helping to aid performance when taken beforehand. But a fun fact that you probably don't know is that caffeine is also shown to have an effect on post-workout substrate effects. So as you can see in the graph by Pedersen et al. 2008, when taken post-workout, assuming you deplete your glycogen stores to like some sort of a degree, caffeine in conjunction with carbs has actually shown to increase rates of glycogen synthesis by 66% after the 4-hour mark compared to just carbs alone, meaning that not only is caffeine actually not detrimental at all to glycogen repletion after exercise, but it may actually act to, enhance synthesis in the recovery phase, which could be good for those maybe training 2 times per day or something. So what's next? The best type. Okay, so overall, any form of caffeine has actually shown to be effective. However, as you can see in the graphs by Graham et al. 1998, effects are often greater when caffeine is taken, I always butcher this word, anhydrous state, or just like a capsule, tablet, or some sort of powder format, as opposed to like liquid or coffee, especially for endurance activities. And this is potentially due to there being like other components in coffee or the liquids like energy drinks, which might actually moderate the actions of caffeine itself in it. So when you're trying to read those graphs there, DC is for decaf coffee, DC plus C is decaf coffee with caffeine actually inside it, then RC is regular coffee, PL being a placebo capsule, and CAF being a caffeine powder capsule. So you can see the CAF did the best there. So next, when should you take your caffeine? Whoa, I'm gonna butcher this name. As seen in the graph by Tikenchauhaten et al. 2013, elevated levels can actually appear in the bloodstream within 15 to 45 minutes of consumption, and peak concentrations are roughly evident around 1 hour post-ingestion. Therefore, I would say taking caffeine 30 minutes pre-workout can ensure it hits when you really need it. You don't want it to hit too late or too early. So yeah, 30 minutes beforehand is pretty good. And also note, the half-life of caffeine has actually been reported to be 4 to 5 hours with a modest intake of coffee, but longer when doses exceed 300 milligrams, which is pretty clear when you go back to that graph by Tika Chunga boy whatever, in that even 4 to 6 hours after caffeine ingestion, you can clearly see that you still have a good bit in your system, which is sort of important for night lifters, as I don't know, if you're taking, let's say, 400 milligrams at 7 o'clock, 200 milligrams might still be in your system by midnight, so you probably just interrupt your sleep at that stage. So next, how much should you take? So those new to supplementation might actually benefit from starting out with smaller, milder dosages. As per Astrup et al. 1998, you can see in their graph even intakes as low as 100 to 200 milligrams still showed to be suffice to exert thermogenic and lipolysis actions. Okay, so lipolysis or lipolysis, I butchered that name, basically just means fat burn. Okay, with another study by Dullo et al. 1989, I always like this one, also showing that an additional 100 milligrams of caffeine resulted in a significant increase in daily energy expenditure by 150 calories in lean volunteers and 79 calories in post-obese subjects. And along with this, actually, as per Schubert et al. 2017, caffeine ingested roughly 0.5 to 4 hours before a meal. This level, so 100 to 200 milligrams, might actually suppress acute energy intake. So this intake can also have a slightly reducing effect on caloric intake, or basically exert appetite suppressing effects. Now, that's in terms of sort of a newbie when it comes to caffeine, or if you're just looking to, suppress your appetite. But if you really want to reap caffeine's true performance enhancing benefits, according to Goldstein et al. 2010's review, more moderate dosages of 3 to 6 milligrams per kilo are required, meaning that for the average 70 kilo athlete, this would roughly equate to 210 to 420 milligrams in the 45 minutes to half half an hour before exercise. But as you can see in the graph by Graham and Spreet in 1995, who basically examined the effects of varying quantities of caffeine on metabolism and endurance exercise, while there were significant increases in performance for low, so 3 milligrams per kilo, and moderate dosages, so 6 milligrams per kilo of caffeine, for the huge dosage of 9 milligrams per kilo, there wasn't any effect, meaning that more isn't going to be better. And you know, in response to this, apparently the authors do suggest that it would appear that at such a high dose, the caffeine may have stimulated the central nervous system to a point at which the usual positive ergogenic responses were just overridden, or in layman's terms, pretty much you literally blow your balls out after a certain limit with nothing more giving extra benefits. So 3 to 6 milligrams per kilo seems to be the sweet spot. Now, what's last? Finally, actually, withdrawal symptoms. Karima et al. 2019 have stated that caffeine withdrawal symptoms can actually occur as soon as 12 to 24 hours after caffeine cessation, with levels peaking at 20 to 51 hours and may actually last up to 2 to 9 days. With another review by Sukmen et al. 2008, who say pretty much similar in that withdrawal symptoms typically peak after 28 to 48 hours before decreasing to baseline values in 4 to 7 days, okay? And they also follow up to say that the responses and symptoms that individuals experience differ a lot, so you sort of expect that, with some athletes not actually experiencing anything at all. But usually if you do suffer from some sort of things, as you can see in the graph, the main ones seem to be headaches, which increase alongside tiredness, pain perception, decreases in mental alertness, all of that bad stuff pretty much. But anyway, family, that is that. Oh my god, that has taken so damn long. Boom! 30 days, back where we started. Deja vu, boobity boo. But firstly, we get rid of all the mess. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's give you a nice little overview of the last 30 days. So, oh my god, what a whopper 30 days it has been. Again, all of the literature and stuff probably took me forever, but hopefully you learned something. But I did genuinely give up caffeine for 30 days, and you know what? I feel great, to be honest. In terms of withdrawal symptoms now, the only time I sort of felt it was probably like 4 or 5 days in, especially when I got home from work and just needed that little kick. I'm tired, a lot of work to do, but nonetheless. Today I just sort of feel it, you know? That was difficult. I probably need a caffeine now, to be honest, bro. If there was one time I need caffeine, it's now. I'm telling you, this is gonna be an absolute grinder. Oh my god, I'm feeling it today. Again, I'm not like an avid user of caffeine, so it wasn't much, but yeah, I did feel something like headaches and just sort of an overall sluggishness. You know, my head is a little bit fuzzy. I don't know, I hardly had a headache within the first like week or so. But yeah, otherwise it was pretty good, to be honest. Workout wise, it was more of a mindfuck than anything, you know. I'm sort of just so used to just scooping this down. To be honest, the workouts lately have been fine. I don't really know, I've always relied on caffeine so much, but maybe it's more of a placebo thing. But so, to be honest, that was actually a pretty decent workout. I'm just saying, like, oh my god, this is going to be the contributor to a good session, but realistically you get like 5-10 minutes in, maybe sort of just warm up a bit, and you just sort of get into your groove. Honestly, it was actually a decent session. Again, it took a while to get going, and I've had really good sessions. Pretty good workout, to be honest. Honestly, a very good workout. I don't know, just with these 3 combos, so beta-alanine, Citruline malate, and my bcaas. You know from my vlogs I've been rocking that combo now, seeing I was doing it. This is why I've been doing stim-free pre-workouts. But yeah, this has been working super well. I've been getting really good pumps, really good focus. So to be honest, I'm probably just going to continue on with this. I think I might even pursue this longer than 30 days, but that is done. I feel pretty good, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know, this is sort of working out. I don't feel reliant on caffeine anymore, but again, I'm not really getting any sort of like craving for coffee or anything. So yeah, I have like a whole tub. This is like a year's worth. I might even do a giveaway or something. This is so much caffeine. But yeah, the plan of action is really not to use that and just stick to this and just stay as caffeine free as possible. In terms of coffee, again, I've been going no full-on caffeine one. We've gone through literally like the little one, and then we bought another Kenko one. So over the 30 days, that's what, like 2 tubs of decaf coffee, again, just with flavor drops and stuff. That seems to be more than enough. I do sort of feel it a little bit when I get home from work, just not having it But again, it's only really 1 cup, and again, I get that taste with the flavor drops in there. So yeah, again, the plan is to stick with decaf coffee as much as possible and just not become reliant on using caffeine. And that actually brings me on to the best point of this whole experiment: sleep. In terms of sleep, guys, okay, my quantity is still pretty poor, but my quality has gone through the roof. You know, I'm not up all night just restlessness. I'm actually getting good quality sleep and waking up feeling refreshed. And again, I don't know whether that's to do with the caffeine, but especially on my work days, considering I would have taken caffeine at like what, 7 o'clock, that definitely would have contributed to some interrupted sleep. So yeah, that is a super thing I like about going caffeine free, that I am definitely looking forward to continuing. You know me and sleep, I really struggle on that end. And that brings me on to the final thing, which you're probably going to be asking, is my plan going forward in terms of diet soda consumption and like Monsters or energy drinks. Well, in terms of energy drinks, I think I can be okay leaving them. Again, I wasn't an avid user. I might have had like 1 or maybe 2 a week at most. And then in terms of diet sodas, yes, I'm gonna have diet sodas, but realistically the caffeine content of those is like 30 milligrams per can or something, and I have like 2 or 3 of those a week. But that is gonna be the video, guys. Again, hopefully you learned something from it. Hopefully you are entertained. If you're watching this, then like and share it on your Instagram feed. I put a ton of effort into all those edits, so literally like 20+ hours work, I'm gonna guess now. So please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. Hope you all have a good day. Stay tuned for the next video. Boop!